We're here. Listen, Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. I'm your brother Germ Griffin. We got a new one for you. New debate on can you be interracial? Can you be pro-black and in an interracial relationship? We got two really good guests. We got Jay Da Popstar, and we also have Kia. And I'm super excited. You know, I was supposed to be debating today, but some stuff happened today, and with another guest, we weren't able to get the 2-on-2 together. But I'm super excited. Like I said before, I'm your brother Germ Griffin. We're going to be on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you get a podcast, you can listen to this. And it's kind of like a redo debate. James, it's been a year since me and you debated this topic. And, I think we needed to do it again. We got a female's perspective on Kia, who is an intellectual from Germantown. Super excited to listen to what she has to say. So, you guys can introduce yourselves and just tell the people what you do a little bit.
Reverse?
Yes.
All right, cool. It was good, everybody. My name is James. I go by Jay Da Popstar. I'm an artist as well. I'm a creative, and I'm also a socialist. So yeah, here to debate and have some fun.
Awesome, Tia.
Hi everyone. My name is Kia. I go by Gold Hoops on Instagram. 2 O's for gold. I'm camera shy like hell, so there's gonna be a lot of this going on.
All right. Listen, as a lot of people know, I know James for years. Honestly, one of my best friends. You know what I mean? Me and him talk about a lot of different stuff. Kia, I know way recently, but the conversations we've had have been astronomically positive and really needed for today. So I'm glad to have both of them on. Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. This is not World of Controversy Podcast. If I say this is World of Controversy Podcast, I'm sorry. I am sorry. Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. You know that's the home. This podcast is going to last for less than an hour. Each of these two will have 6 minutes to state their claims. 2 6-minute rounds and a discussion round. Do anyone have a coin or a quarter or anything like that?
I do not.
Okay, we're going to rock, paper, scissors this thing.
All right.
Kia versus Jay Da Popstar. Rock, paper, scissors.
I would like for Jay to go first. That's not anything that I would fight for.
Wow. Do you want to go first?
Accepted.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Let's do this thing. I will start the timer. 2 6-minute rounds. If you want to respond, you can do so in a 10-minute in a 2-minute section right after his 6-minute round. Okay, Kia. So I'm about to get the timer started, and we're gonna get this thing popping. Where is the clock application? Bam. 1, 2.
All right, let's get into it. So, right away, I want to talk about, I guess, what it means to be pro-black in the context of the discussion. Because I know a lot of people say, "Oh, this is pro-black, this is not pro-black." I think we need to talk about what pro-black means first. So, this dictionary, in the spirit of blackness, actually got this definition that I liked from Urban Dictionary. Urban Dictionary, kids, is not a good source to use normally, but I thought this definition was very comprehensive and was overall a good summary of what I understand pro-blackness to be. So, this is here: pro-black is a lifestyle that encourages the economic growth and the development of black people as a whole, with the purpose of increasing the wealth and population of black people around the world, whether it be spending money with black-owned businesses in your communities or online. Promoting love for black people and encouraging black youth is the sole purpose to keep uplifting the black people in America to be proud of their identity. So, I'm going to venture to guess we probably can all agree with that definition. So, maybe not, but yeah. So, I want to get into like the nitty-gritty of some of this stuff. So the question is, can you be in an interracial relationship and be pro-black? So I think in order to answer this question, you have to say what is the primary goal of pro-blackness, right? And on this definition is economic growth and development, and also the growth of the black community. I.e., that would be the family, the population. And this is around the world, but I think specifically we're speaking um, probably well in the context of America because I think that's probably what's relevant to most of us. I know there's the Pan Africanist community, etc. But so I would say yes that you can be in an interracial relationship and be pro-black. And the reason why is because the defined goals of the pro-black community could fit into a framework of, in my opinion, any type of relationship as long as the relationship um, is in support of black people and the black community. Now, what do I mean by this? Well, first of all, um, let's see here. Sorry, guys, my vision is not as good as it once was. Turn the brightness up. Okay, so as far as supporting the advancement of black people, anyone can support the advancement of black people. Theoretically, you do not have to be black to do so. You just have to support black ideals and principles, right? So, for instance, you could be a white person who is invested in building up businesses in Detroit because you're interested in seeing the community thrive and do well. On the flip side, I would argue you could also be a black business person who does not have the community's best interest in mind, and you could come in and exploit the community and exploit their resources. So I do think that's a goal that could be reached regardless to whether you are in the black community or not, regardless to whether you're in a relationship.
Excuse me, Jay. What does that have to do? Like, what does your statement?
Really quick, Kia. He still has 240.
Sorry,
240. 2 minutes 40 seconds.
Right.
Apologies.
Yeah, that's all right. So now what do I mean by this? Well, I do think that the primary driving force of being pro-black is to advance the economics. Because let's be honest, the black population is growing at a fast and exponential rate at a time where the white population and other populations in America are coming to a standstill. So we have no problem growing our population. What we do have a problem with is building sustainable families and sustainable economics, right? And those two things go hand in hand, right? So, for instance, 79, it's now 73, I think, as of 2021% of African Americans are born into a single parent home, so a home without two parents, right? That is detrimental to the community because you have increased rates of violence, increased rates of crime, etc., right? Now, if you were to have a black man who was living in Detroit, married to a white woman, right, or any woman, but let's say white woman for the sake of this argument, that child is going to be exponentially better off than a person who's born into a single family home, right? So, I don't see how this would not be building up the community, considering the fact that the majority of people in our community are not getting married and not having families, right? But back to the economic sector, though, as well. I do think that as far as being pro-black, you can accomplish a lot more, by building up the economics of the community than you can by just simply having a family. Now, I'm not downgrading or belittling people who have families because families are the pillars of our community. But you look at somebody like, your average working class black guy has 2 kids, has a family, grows up, dies, right? Then you have somebody like, what's his name? Jalen Rose, right? Who I don't believe he has children, and he's not married to a black woman. Actually, I think currently he's not married at all. He did get a divorce. Yeah, but but that being said, he's put tens of thousands of dollars into his city. He's mentored people. He's built up schools, and I would say these are very pro-black things, and they are, they do coincide with the pro-black agenda. So how am I doing on time? So in conclusion, I do think that the economic factor is often understated. I do think that you can be pro-black and you can push a pro-black agenda without specifically being in a relationship with a black person. So
awesome. You want 2 minutes to respond, or do you want to start your 6-minute session? You want 6? Let's do it. Kia.
So many things. First, I want to go back to the beginning when we talk about the definition of pro-black and what it stands for. It represents community, economics, What else did you say, Jay? I just want to be sure.
Yeah, community economics and support, encouraging and uplifting black people across the world.
Okay.
And that was the general gist. I don't want to read the whole thing because I don't want to take too much of your time.
Right. So, I think that your argument is not being pro-black at all. It's support of dating interracial. That's it. And that's okay if people choose to date interracial, that's okay. But that's not what we're talking about. It's how do you show up for black communities in that relationship? So if you was to date outside your race, how would your wife, no matter what her race is, besides for of course African American, um, how would she show up for you? How would she show up for the community? How could you say that it doesn't matter when it comes to relationships when we're talking about actual interracial relationships? That's the support right there. Your foundation is the home, which the mom with the father and the mom and the kids. What you're not taking into accountability is that everybody has flaws. So just because a black family might can't stay together and it didn't work out, that does not mean that it's not support of the community in a whole. Like you cannot just dismiss what being pro-black is all about just because it fits what you would like it to fit. That's not how it goes. It means staying in the black community. It means building black communities. You feel what I'm saying? Not technically staying there, like in living within the community, but it means support. It means building black communities by having black kids with a black woman or with a black man. You don't have to date. I don't understand, and it's crazy. I'm trying to remember exactly what you said, but I can't fathom it. Like it don't make sense to me. It's not sitting well with me because it goes against everything we're here for right now talking about. Even if you have a black man, white man, how is this white man coming in the community and establishing a building or putting up? How that benefits it? What building is it? It could be a prison. You ain't saying what it is. How that benefit the black community? If the intentions is not there, it ain't there. I don't care who you is. You cannot be pro-black when you can't be pro-black and have that spouse that will understand why you go so hard for your community, why that's your purpose. Because it's also about supporting small black businesses. It's about showing up for your people, no matter right or wrong. And I say that in the sense of how black men are being killed. When I say no right or wrong, you know what I'm saying? They being killed for nothing. And they put themselves in situations where if they was approached with maybe some humanity, they wouldn't be dying. How can your white counterpart understand that pain? It don't make sense to me. I don't even know what else to say. My 6 minutes up?
You got about 2 minutes.
I wish I could, I want to hit every point, but it's not. I don't support that. I don't support that. I want to have a black husband. You know, I want black kids. I want black grandkids. I want to teach my son about black history. I want him to know that his black skin is golden. I want him to be important. I want him to feel important about himself, no matter the odds against him. How my white counterpart gonna help me with that?
Do you yield your time or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was waiting. I was like, wait.
Okay. James, do you want 2 minutes to respond or do you want another 6?
Oh, absolutely.
2 minutes to respond to that?
Mm-hmm.
2 minutes starting right now.
Okay, so first I wanted to address a couple of points that you made. When you were saying I said relationships didn't matter, that's not what I said at all. I think relationships are very important to a black community because I did say relationship that family is the pillar of the community. What I said is I feel like economically you can have a greater impact on the community than you can like with a specific than just having one family. Like if I have 2 kids and my kids grow up to be good society people, okay, cool. But if I can be like LeBron James and I can build a school where my community can get educated and afford them opportunities to build business. If I can be like Jay-Z, I can put all my friends on, make all my friends, wealthy, etc. Then that does have a greater impact because you can impact more families. So my point is like there's more than one way to impact the family. That would be my the first point. The second one would be when you say how would the wife show up for your community? The same way any wife would show up for the community. I mean, look, like white women are not going to have the same experience
because of the two black men that you even said supports the community or married to black women.
I just want to get this point out real quick.
Gotcha.
White women do not have the same experience as black women, right? But like the idea that because somebody is white, that they cannot learn to understand the community and that they cannot be in solidarity with people in the community, I think is I don't think it makes sense.
I never said that.
Right. But the point is, if you have, one of the problems I have with some people in the pro-black movement is they undermine solidarity. They're like, oh, we have to be black people.
I said she can't relate.
You got 10 seconds, James.
Well, what do you mean by relate?
Listen, that was a good back and forth for a second. James, I'm about to start your next 6 minutes.
Oh, I get another 6?
Yeah, you get another 6.
I thought we were just going to discuss it.
Yeah, because it's like, it's up now.
Let me give you your other 6, and then you get another 6.
All right, I'll probably end up yielding most of that 6, but...
Gotcha.
I feel like, James, we should say no for here.
All right.
Let's stick to the plan.
There you go.
Jared is the man with the plan, I guess. So,
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Can't let you free flow nothing.
Yeah.
Go ahead, James.
So, I think another thing that that we can mostly agree on, which maybe not, but we'll find out. I think most people agree that people tend to act within their own interest, right? So people typically don't act within the interest of others, right? So like, I don't think that, for instance, a black person is going to act, who's poor in the Bronx, is going to act in the interest of like a suburban white person, for instance, right?
Say what?
Or vice versa. Like humans are very self-interested and self-oriented, right? Because survival of the fittest, right? Self-preservation is above everything else, right? So, most people who date, like, of course, are gonna date someone who looks like them. I do believe that. Most people are gonna date. I think like 93% of African Americans tend to date inside their community. Yeah. So, I don't think that we have. I think our main problem, as I stated earlier, I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but is building up our social economic structures and also building like strong families when we actually do build them. And people can say like, oh, white person can't relate to these black people because of this, that, and the third. But statistics show that an interracial family is healthier than a broken family, right? So is that not a positive for the community?
What statistics?
So people who are in single parent homes, to answer that question, are men in single parent homes are 2 times as likely to be violent, 3 times as likely to commit crimes, and they're more likely.
Are we talking about black men or all men?
No, all men. You can see it in the black community, but also when you go to Appalachia, which is majority white, you see the exact same thing in the exact same areas where they have poverty and broken families, right? So for me, somebody starting a functional family is by definition pro-black because they're adding more to the community than they're taking away. Whereas if you have a person who is, let's say, oh, I have 4 baby moms and I'm not paying my child support, that person's not adding to the community. Why? Just because the kid is black? Just because the mom is black? They're not adding anything to the community.
That's not being pro-black. You're not.
Really quick.
They're being a detriment, and to me, I would argue that's not pro-black. Just to have black kids and be spreading them all around the place. Somebody who has a functional family is actually creating a basis for the community that they live in. And also we can talk about the fact that like most interracial people, when they grow up, do identify as black. I have several interracial friends, and they pretty much all identify more with the black community than they do with the other community. Now, you can very well identify with the other community. I think it has to do mostly with your demographic, whether it's urban or whether it's rural. Also your class level, your level of academia and education could play into it. But the majority of people I know who are interracial, and what they understand, I do have to qualify this anecdotal. They identify as black and they contribute to the black community. And a lot of them also come from functional families where their parents were married. I think that we need to emphasize that aspect more than just saying, oh, you can't be pro-black because, you know.
Really quick.
Mm-hmm. You know, your partner is.
Take a short break.
Okay. Something happened with the camera?
Yeah, after 30 minutes it clicks.
Oh, man. I don't know. I'm gonna figure it out.
Yeah, this is pretty good. Sorry about that. Yo, the camera stopped really quick. I think we were at I'm so sorry about that, James.
Oh, it's okay.
I think we were at around a minute and a half for you.
No, that's cool. I'm gonna wrap it up this you know.
Okay, wrap it up in about a minute and 10. How about that?
Okay. Sure. But I was saying that whether the family is a black family or not, I think by definition, if you're having a functional family, you are contributing and adding to the community. I mean, unfortunately, a lot of us don't grow up with two parents, so admittedly, so that is kind of a low bar to set, you know. But I do think that just by having a functional family, by definition, you are contributing to the black community, period, because there are very few functional black families, you know, from a statistical point of view, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I'm gonna yield that.
Okay, you yield your time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so sorry about that to the people who watching on YouTube. Believe me, I cut him off as soon as the camera stopped, so you ain't missed nothing. If you want to watch the full thing, I'm going to have the recording on my Instagram at Germ.Griffin. Kia, you do get 6 minutes right before the discussion round. 6 minutes. I'm going to start you up.
No, I want my 2-minute rebuttal.
Do you want a 2-minute rebuttal?
Did you hear me?
Okay. 2-minute rebuttal. You're right. I didn't ask you. I usually ask the people so much going on. All right. 2-minute rebuttal.
Okay, so I don't have no stats, no none of that. And it's driving me wild, the viewpoint that, you know, that is being stated. The two black men he named, which is LeBron James and Jay-Z, first of all, or let's say they billionaires, and they came from nothing, and they had talent, and they worked up towards their talent, and they both married gorgeous black women. Now, let's say that. There's no way, no one, no matter what stats, can convince me that having a spouse that's not of the same race, trying to represent something that is important, is better. Like, it's, sorry, I'm tripping up over my old words because it's like a little, you know, I'm a little taken back by it. Because logically, it don't make sense to me, honestly. Like, you're not even seeing how the man or the woman that's dating, that's the opposite race, are coming to support the community just by having kids. And did you know that if, let's say back in slavery, when a white man raped a black woman and she had to deliver that, she had to have that baby, that automatically became her baby. So if a white woman has a baby by a black man, that is a white child. You feel what I'm saying? Yes, it's up to the baby.
I disagree with that.
That is fact.
Vehemently disagree with that.
That's fact. That ain't no stat. That's a fact. You need to look it up.
No, it's
Yeah, it is.
Really quick,
so
James,
why does it apply to one race and not the other? So that's not a thing. So I'm not going to believe that. It doesn't apply to one and not the other. And let's not talk about racism, okay? Let's not even go that way. I'm just not interested because there's no way to come, show support, and show up. They can't even relate to your child. They can't. Your
20-minute rebuttal is up. I'm going to start your 6-minute timer, Kia. You got 6 minutes.
Oh, I don't get to respond to that?
No.
No, you don't respond to the response.
Come
I'm
on,
sorry.
man.
This is the last round, right?
All right.
This is the last round right before the discussion. Why is my Sony camera turning off on me? I don't get that. I tell you, we do this stuff all the time, and I can't win with some of these cameras. You know, I'm not a camera person. You're listening to Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. We got one more round. Kia gonna go give her last 6 minutes, and then we got a discussion round. Yeah, it should be. This is getting interesting for sure.
Yeah, because I got to respond to some of that.
Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. Let's start you up, Kia. 1, 2, go.
This is wild. Like, so when I'm proving my point of why I think you cannot be in an interracial relationship and be pro-black, right? Well, first it's because of the difference in generations, the difference of where they come from. It doesn't matter what the culture is or what the race is. It's to come with an understanding. You know what I'm saying? Like from where our people started from and where they finishing and in between. Because only thing he doing is knocking black men. That's the only thing I hear. He like knocking black people. From what I hear, you knocking black people for not having the fundamental things that they needed growing up to even know how to withstand a family or to uphold a family. You know what I'm saying? Like, people come from different type of trauma. So you don't take, I'm not, excuse me.
Yeah, really quick, James. She got 4 minutes, 50 seconds.
Excuse me. It's no understanding and where you coming from for the community at once. So one, you cannot be pro-black. There's nothing there to even sit on, to stand on. You down in your own race to uplift another race to prove how they could be for us when you can't even be for us. That don't make sense to me. I don't understand that. And you keep talking about economic build. How many white people you know have done something generously for the black community and wanted nothing back?
Quite a few, actually.
Okay, did they ever claim it on their taxes?
No.
They got something back for it?
No.
You can prove it?
I
No.
make phone calls, yeah.
Listen,
But
I can't,
think
I
it's
don't,
relevant.
that's not, yeah, it's not. And everything else you're saying wasn't relevant. You're talking about white people coming in and black people coming in. You never said how a black man can have a positive effect, how the white woman can make the black man have a positive effect on their own community. You did not once say that. You never once stated how this white woman or this white man could come and support black-owned businesses, or they could fund them, or or the display of you're not talking about that. You say you got a lot of interracial friends, but you don't have nothing to stand on.
By building functional families,
That's all you got, but that does not support. That does not add to the black community, because adding to the black community by being pro-black is having black kids. You feel what I'm saying? And teaching those black kids, not to have interracial kids and teach them how to be pro-black. That don't make sense to me. And I'm gonna keep saying it because I'm a logical person, and you're not speaking logic. You keep talking about stats, and I'm like, all right, well, where these stats at?
I think it's incredibly logical.
And I ain't against anybody want to date anybody, date whoever you want. But I ain't never hear a black man say they date a white woman because of who she is. It's always because of who she not.
That's incorrect.
I said what I heard.
Really
I don't know
quick,
what you
really
heard.
quick,
I don't know what you heard.
She got 3 minutes.
I don't know what you heard. I said what I heard. It's always because she not loud. It's always because she not loud. It's always because she not ghetto, or she ain't do this, or she ain't do that. It ain't nothing that's supporting the positive, whatever she do for you, or however she lift you up. It is not. I never seen none of that.
But none of that.
You don't. They don't speak on that. They don't speak on that. And I don't care who they date. Date whoever you want. But leave black women out of it. And that's point blank. Like, why we got to be dragged in it, or why black men got to be dragged in it? If a black woman want to date a white man, let her be great. But you don't add to this community. You add to the interracial community. We can talk about apartheid from South Africa. You know what I'm saying? You couldn't have. I read Trevor Noah's book, Born to Crime. He was black. His mom was African American. His dad was European. He lived in Africa, and it was a crime. He grew up in apartheid. So he talked about his mom having to walk a few feet in front of him so she don't look like he his child. That's his mom. Like, that's crazy. Like, come on, you know, just because you're light skinned don't mean you actually know. Or not even say that. I ain't gonna say that. I feel like that was wrong. I ain't even gonna say that. But I think the people get my point. I got a minute left.
You don't.
I was telling you earlier. No, wait, right? You gotta check out this documentary called Little White Lie, right?
Okay.
All right, it was about this little white girl, right? She grew up in a white 2-parent household, right? Her mom cheated on her dad with a black man named Rodney in the projects. So she don't find out, her dad that she lived with don't find out until she's 16 years old. They take a trip to Jamaica and she come back, her skin darker than mine. Dad knows something fishy going on because now that daughter ain't his that he thought was for 16 years.
Well, how would it take him 16 years?
Because his dad is Sicilian. So he thought that she got her little dark complexion and has curly hair. I agree. I agree. But it's still like her story is still prominent. It's still important because she talk about how she go from being dark skin with bad hair, and by the time she get to college, she light skin with good hair. And back then, she said when she was registered for college, you had to send a picture in. So you ain't put your ethnicity down on paper. You sent the picture in. So by her picture, they put her in a black dorm. So she joined the Black Student Union, and that's what made her realize, like, yo, like I was the cause of my parents' divorce because my mom never told me that my dad wasn't my dad, and she never told my dad that she cheated on him. Don't make sense. Sometimes little interracial kids get a little bit confused. They don't know where they should stand. But they got their own group. They're going to figure it out. Because they got a choice. They could be on either side. You still don't tell me how that supports the black community.
You got 10 seconds.
I'm finished.
Yield your time. Okay, we got
so much
2-minute response or discussion round. What
Let's
we
do a
want?
discussion round.
Let's do the discussion round.
Let's try to do a discussion round.
We're having a really good debate. Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. I see some people have commented on my thing. I'm too far away to read them, sadly. We got Kia in the house. We got Jay Da Popstar. Musical artist from Philly. Kia, she's a intellectual here in Philly too. And Germ Griffin, I'm here moderating this debate. Can you be pro-black and in an interracial relationship? Discussion round. You guys can open it up however you want. We got about a good 10. We got a good 10 minutes wherever y'all want. I'm a break y'all up if it start to get a little too crazy, but I'll let y'all come at each other.
Well, all right. So first off, I wanted to say, all right, that's it, debatable. Your points about, well, not earlier when I said I disagree with you. So your point about racism and colorism and like people getting raped, that is correct historically speaking. So just to clarify for the audience and anyone listening, I don't want you to think I disagree with that. What I disagree with is comparing two consenting adults who decide to be in a relationship of their own volition to somebody getting, well, I don't know if you can say this on YouTube, so, you know, the R word. That comparison, like, is so, to me, is just so asinine, and I don't think it doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's like comparing apples to, like, pickles. Like, those two things are completely different.
You know? How can one stand for one and not the other? Even if it was two constituent adults back then, a white woman and a black man, that would still be a white child. Interracial is relatively a new term, like over like the past 50 years.
Yeah, they used other terms like mulatto and things
exactly.
that are not politically correct today.
So let's stick to that. Like, that's what I'm talking about. That's why I say interracial, they own little group. So
primarily speaking, like I said, by building a functional family. To me, if you're building a functional family within the black community, you are by definition adding to the community, because most of our families are not functional. And it's not politically correct to say, especially amongst black circles, we have a problem with building functional families. And this is a problem that did not exist 100 years ago. Our single parent rate used to be about 10% in the 1890s. Now it's 73%. Which is some of the reasons why we have more crime in our community and more of these other issues. Now, you can also talk about economics as well. I'm not going to say, like, oh, it's all people's fault for not getting married, because that's not a comprehensive way to look at the situation. But it's definitely a contributing factor and one that we need to look at. So, for me, if I'm a black guy... We need to talk
about how white America broke up the black family, if that's what we want.
Yeah, we can discuss that, and we can discuss that. But what I'm saying is that if me as a black man decides to have a family and stay in Philadelphia, right? Regardless of whether the woman is black or white, I'm contributing to my community by definition, because Most people are not doing
But
what
how
I'm
else
doing.
are you? What else you doing? You're not saying besides for producing interracial children. What else are you doing for your community?
Well, plenty, but I'm only talking about in the
You gotta
context
tell
of
me.
how are these people. All right, so if I was a black guy and married a black woman,
No, we're
besides
talking about you and your
I'm
black,
asking,
your
no,
white
no,
wife.
no, I'm asking me and my black wife, right? In the second hypothetical situation, besides having a family, what are we doing to contribute to the community? You could ask the same question. Like,
That's where pro-black come in at. You feel what I'm saying? All black families not pro-black, and we said that. You know what I'm saying? Just because you black, you might not be pro-black. All skin. What's that saying? I don't know. I'm trying to say something.
I know what you're.
remember,
Yeah,
but to
that's
say
what I'm
that,
saying, yeah.
but most black people are pro-black because
No, it's not. No,
Most
most
black people
are not. If you only reduce being pro-black to having black children,
then
no, that's not being
also
pro-black.
acting
It's
in
showing
your own
up for your
political and
community.
economic interests as well.
Yes, it's showing up for
And
your
most
community.
people do that.
Having your own beliefs, how you gonna support your community and support your family, how to stand in it. You can't. How? You're not saying how.
Because
but
there are other aspects besides just
that's what I'm
producing
saying.
a family. We talked about
That's what I'm saying.
yeah,
but
right.
the family is included.
But I talked about the economics.
You can't leave it out.
All right. So what if you're a gay woman? You can't be pro-black because you can't because gay women can't produce a child.
Okay.
Right?
So what the LGBT
no. What if you're a woman who can't reproduce? What if you're a woman who cannot have children? So you can't be pro-black because you don't have black kids? I think that argument is just so
You're not listening. No, all right, so look, if you're a woman who likes other women, what makes you pro-black is how you show up for your community.
Yeah, so why can't an interracial person show up for the community?
If she wanted to date another black woman, marry a black woman, that's them. They wanted to adopt black kids, that's them. That's how they want to show up in their sense. But it's more to that than having that aspect. And that's what you're not stating.
Well, I did state it. I talked about the economics.
But you only talked about the economics, and you did not talk
about
how it supports.
We can talk about
you
downgraded
the black people that wasn't doing.
No, I did not downgrade. What I said was I think that a person who contributes economically, regardless to whether they're married to a black person or not, can touch more people than I can by just having one child. That's not a downgrade. That is a fact. If I have $10 million, if I have $10 million to invest in North Philadelphia, that's going to affect more people than if I just have one kid.
A person with no money can have a fundraiser. They can have a rally, and they can support the local church. You understand? You're talking about something that's important, but that's not supporting. As a whole, because being pro-black is more than one thing, and you keep talking about economics and how you can have a white wife and have these interracial children, and that is what it is.
Can you tell me how supporting a community economically is not supporting a pro-black agenda?
I never said it's not.
You did. You said
no. I said that's all you're talking about. I never said it's not. I said that's all you're talking about. I know, and it's gonna repeat that. I said that that's all you're saying. That's all your points are. Economic and how you. We're gonna watch it together.
Yes. That sounds fine.
And read the comments.
We can take a shot every time somebody says pro-black.
Guess what happened? Alcohol poison.
That's a game for y'all. See if y'all.
Oh man, let me read this comment really quick. Don't keep going back at it.
Oh, here I was gonna say you can use my phone to read the comments.
You can Okay, Chase Walker said, you can marry a white woman. It depends on how much you can pour into the community. No, that's what Chase is saying.
I don't.
That's an interesting argument.
If she's if she's not showing up to help you, like, you feel what I'm saying? It's about her. It's about her and how she show up too.
But you're kind of assuming they're not showing up.
No. I'm not assuming that she's not showing up. His comment has said that you can date white. It depends on how you show up. You feel what I'm saying? And I said that. So you could date whoever you want, but don't bring down the black community while you doing it. I said that.
Right, but no one's bringing down
the black community. How do your black woman? How do your white woman help support you?
How am I bringing down the black community? I would like a comprehensive understanding of how
verbally.
By what? By stating facts?
They're not for whom?
It's a fact that 73% of our families are non-functional. It's a fact that 73% of us grow up in single-parent homes. It's a fact that we have higher crime rates,
I'm
which
sorry,
is correlated
but
to not
being
having two
pro-black
parents.
is
That's
a
not
belief.
that's not
It's a
anti-black
belief.
rhetoric. That's just statistical
It's
analysis.
no way. Listen.
And it's not just black people. If you go to Appalachia, which is like
That does
West
not
Virginia,
support- that
Pennsylvania,
does not
where there's
support
white
what
people,
you're
they have the
saying.
same number of, they have similar statistics with their single-parent homes, and these are white people, 73%. So it has nothing to do with the race. It's just a fact that the majority of people in our community are not building sustainable families.
Okay,
I don't see how that's tearing black people down. I'll say the same thing about white people.
Really quick,
on black
let him
people.
finish this point, and then
Because
I'll
I'll
let
say
you
the same. Look,
point, though.
anybody who knows me in my personal life, right? Which admittedly a lot of people watching this don't. I've said the same thing about white people in West Virginia or even in Kensington. They're saying they have the same issues that we have in the black community. So it's not that I'm tearing down black people.
Because you're not
I'm
talking about
my
the black
culture,
people who's
my
doing well for
specific
themselves.
cultural-
You're
my
not talking about the
specific
black
cultural
families that's
context.
sustaining.
All
You're
right,
not
so
talking
finish
about
that point. And
I'm
then-
talking about
No,
my
dude, it's not
context.
that many because you don't want to get
No, it's not that
involved
many
with them.
because there's statistics
Because
that
of where
aren't.
you no.
It's a statistical anomaly that black people
It's also
will be married and stay
it's
married.
about your community. It's about your community and where you at and where you showing up at.
27%.
And if you choose not to see it, if you choose not to, I don't care. That 27% holds a lot of weight.
Yeah, we
and
need to increase that.
No, and only thing we need is black children to see more of black parents loving on each other. That's what we need.
Right, we can start by getting married. That's all I'm saying.
And,
No,
I
to
can't.
white people though? It's like, nah. Oh
So,
man,
look, to
y'all
anybody-
making me want to hop in this thing. This is good stuff.
I can't go back and forth
Listen,
with Jay
we
because
got-
he only bringing down the community. You can he's not even saying how he is pro-black and help the community. Whoever he's dating,
I mean,
he's not even stating that.
I mean, I have a problem with you saying
And you
I'm bringing
didn't
down the community
say-
because I have a disagreement with you, though.
You're
You're assuming that I'm
but
not
you're not-
acting in
'cause you're
good
not
faith.
talking.
I don't think that that's
What
fair.
is pro-black? What's the definition?
I don't think
I
it's
never
fair.
said nothing about your faith, sweetie.
No, but
I
I
said
said you're
that-
assuming I'm not acting in good faith by saying I'm bringing down the community.
Are you acting in good faith? Because
Exactly,
having
yeah.
faith, I don't know.
I don't think that's fair.
Woo! You're not acting in good faith.
Oh
Jay.
man. Woo.
You're not.
Oh.
Damn it.
Straw man. Say no.
No.
That was the other thing. Remember
No,
the
he's
last
not
debate
acting
we
in
were talking about
good
straw man?
faith.
Oh yeah, the
He
straw
want to
man
prove his
argument.
point. He's
So,
not. He's not acting
so
in
do
good
you
faith.
feel like
He
you're
wants to prove- This is some bull.
do you feel like what you're doing is making his argument decredible, or is that what you feel like she's
Decredible?
But
doing?
here's
Like,
no. So here's
I
my
don't-
thing.
like the credit is going because
We can
maybe
disagree.
you're
That's
not
fine,
acting
but
Yes.
like, I don't agree with saying, "Oh, you're just tearing down the black community."
I just don't think there's no support there, and I can say that. And maybe you
Okay,
didn't like the terminology that I
that's
used,
fine, but
there's no support there. And the first thing you need when it comes to being pro-black,
But I'm not just trying to
pro-black
win the debate.
is
Like
the
I
support.
actually believe what I'm saying. That's the
And
thing.
I believe what
And I
I'm
believe that you believe what
saying.
you're saying, right? So I'm saying
And and you
I
throwing
good faith, I
stats,
would
you
appreciate
throwing
if you would afford
stats.
me the exact same
Okay.
urgency, you know?
Listen, because you say that's something you believe, but only thing you have with your belief is your stats that you Google and that you have to look up, and your environment and the people that you hang
I
around.
mean, men
But
lie,
my
women
environment
lie, numbers don't. So.
But my environment represents something so different and so beautiful. Like, you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, it
So
does.
I'm not taking away from the struggle. Like, and that's what comes with being pro-black is understanding that. Like, understand that there is a hill to climb, and we have to get over it. And we got to keep pushing and in support of each other. And that's how we show up.
Right.
And that's how we stand up for each other. But what you saying ain't standing up.
Well, I'm not gonna pander to people by saying, oh, 80% of our
We're not
families are
talking
functional,
about
because it's not.
percentage.
It's
We're
just
talking about
the
how
raw
to do
numbers.
better. How
We can start by getting married. And look,
we
if you're a
can't
black
go
man
back
right
and
now
forth.
watching
I
this,
can't argue with stats. I'm
if
not
you're a
doing
black
that
man
with you.
watching this,
I'm
I don't
talking
care
about what I
who you're
believe.
married. Just for God's sake, please get married. Please do not have a kid out of wedlock. Please.
What
make
makes
sure-
you think just
if
because
you're-
you
if
get
you're a
married, you will
woman-
stay married? Just
if
because
you're-
you get married don't mean you will stay married. I don't care who you marry.
Okay,
Just
but
because you get married don't mean you want to stay married.
okay, but even families who get married and get divorces, their kids tend to do better than people who were never married to begin with, and that's a statistical fact as well.
Wait, what?
I don't know.
Even families who tend to get married and have a divorce later on, those children tend to do, while they do worse than the parents who stay together, they actually do
So,
better than the ones who never
is your
had
argument
two
to get
parents.
married?
Yeah. Yes. And I think that a black man
Just
or
to let
woman
everybody know, I ordained. So
Getting
y'all
married.
getting married, hit me up.
Oh, there we
oh, that's
go.
a
Yeah.
promo right there.
Yeah, she's ordained to marry.
You should have put that in that little clip where the camera went out.
Yeah,
Right,
man.
No, I'm just
commercial
comfortable
in there.
because you got me on fire.
Germ Griffin Recordings Archive. I'm gonna let these two promote whatever they want to promote. Either it's a
Germ, I gotta go.
okay. Kid gotta go. What's your Instagram, kid?
Go Hoops.
Go Hoops. Two
And
O's.
you'll at me.
James, what's your
You can follow
Instagram
me
or Twitter?
on Instagram at JayDaPopstar and then the number 1. So Jay Da Popstar number 1.
Listen, always good. Y'all have a good day. I'm your brother Germ Griffin. Also, I'm at germ.griffin, GERM.GRIFFIN, and on Twitter, Germ Twix, GERMTWIX. Y'all have a good day. Thank y'all so much for coming. It was a blessing. I loved it. I loved it. Peace.
Oh, look at the time.
Bro, this is the best debate I think you ever had, bro. I ain't gonna lie.